This module is covering blueprint reading for construction, and more in particular is really looking at the organization of construction drawings. As we go through construction drawings and the organization, how things are put together, this is just an overview looking at how contractors and builders and developers uses construction drawings to help organize the whole process of building. The objectives of this section for Module 1 is to explain why drawings are important in the construction industry, identify what is included in a set of construction drawings, describe how drawings and prints are made, and how to handle prints safely and properly. Here are some of the terms. Go through your textbook and look at this. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of terms used in this industry, but some of the things that is very important to keep in mind is what a blueprint is. Again, we don't use blueprints any longer. However, some of the old prints years ago was drawn by hand, and it was actually blue. Some other terms like building information modeling is kind of interesting these days because it's a 3D drawing from digital printing of drawings. And what it does, it helps a builder, contractors to see things before the building is actually built. Not only just looking at a single dimension type of drawing, but it's actually looking at three-dimensional, so you can actually see if there's problems ahead of time. And it's very interesting because you can build something, all of a sudden you have to make changes as the job is going on. You could have downtime and things, but here, physically, do a drawing, you could be able to see things three-dimensionally. Computer aided drafting is the way they make prints these days. Construction drawings are the different types of drawings used for construction, many different types. We're going to get into that. Other things we're going to talk about as we go through, such as details, electrical plans, elevations, engineering copies, and so forth. Here are some of the additional terms: longitudinal sections, mechanical plans, orthographic projections. And we're going to discuss these things in class. We're going to maybe go a little bit deeper into a lot of this. But anyway, as you read through your textbook, we'll cover these terms. Additional terms we may find. Here, one thing I'm going to pick up really quick, vellum. That is the paper they use for old blueprint type of printing. It was a very thin, transparent type of paper that used the process to make copies of original drawings. And it was used to use the machine that had alcohol, no, I'm taking that back, ammonia in it and the graphite from the pencils actually caused the lines on the paper to form. Again, this was a process using different types of papers, and vellum was one of the type of paper. When it comes to construction drawings and looking at drawing organization, construction drawings are created by using what they call orthographic projections. Orthographic is taking a single dimension but drawing it three different ways or more. It could be more than three ways. In other words, you can draw a front view of something, you could draw a side view, a top view, a bottom view, a back view. All those would be putting together orthographic projections, being able to see it. It's not a three-dimensional type of drawing like isometric or oblique type of drawings, but it is a drawing that can show multiple and single drawings. They are used to communicate the architectural and engineering designs on a project. They also supply and supplement the specifications, which are included in part of the documents of a construction drawing. And the drawings shows components, the materials, the methods used to be able to function within a construction project. The information needed for construction is communicated in drawings by using lines, and these lines are develop very specifically. In other words, certain lines and the way it is drawn will give you information. For example, an object usually have a dark, heavy line, where the dimension lines would be a very, let's say, not heavy, but a light line and thin to be able to show, to give more clarity in a drawing. So it's not just a lot of heavy lines, but the lines are drawn differently. You will see as we go through and read through your book. And so the information needed for construction is communicated in drawings. So a print is a copy of a drawing. So the original drawing used to be drawn by a draftsman on paper and pencil, and then it would be copied over, sometime copied by another person or using a copying type of machine or blueprint machine. That blueprint machine would actually make the drawings, the background would either be blue or it could be white and the lines would be blue, but this was the old style of making prints, making copies. The original was drawn on vellum paper and with the again with the graphite type pencils, and then the process using the blueprint machine to make copies. There's types of drawings, plan drawings, elevations, sections, detailed drawings, and pictorial drawings. Each one of these are different, but we're going to talk about each one of these separately, trying to explain the difference between the types of drawings that you will find on a set of blueprints or construction prints. The first one is a pictorial drawing. Pictorial is a type of drawing that do some type of rendition of the actual building before it's built. Now, this picture you see in this drawing is actually computer generated. It's not drawn. The old school, the architect used to draw it by hand, a lot of times using watercolors and other things to make it look as real as possible. So this type of drawing will show the owner or the of the building before they build it what it will look like, to give them an idea is this something that they would love to have as their building. So it's enhanced the materials and the visual effects for more realistic appearance of the building. And so again, usually it's on the very first page of the drawing, or sometimes it would be when they're trying to present the prints to the owners. They maybe have a large scale picture of it, and sometimes they would build a scale to give you an idea what it would look like. But more than this is just on the first page what it will look like. So during organization on projects, when it comes to small construction projects, usually, and like I say, small, they're just remodeling a room. It might just be all on one page. However, on very large projects, it would be multiple pages of content. And it would be so large until it may have different sections for the different trades. So, therefore, the carpenters, the electricians, the HVAC will all have their own section in the drawing. So again, it depends on the type of the construction. If it's large or if it's small, would determine what would go on the page. If everything on one, or it would be multiple different pages showing very specific types of parts of that print. There is actually a uniform drawing system that all architects, builders, and designers would use um, to put their drawings together to make it clear to find things on it. So in other words, each page will be broken down into sections. And on the bottom of the page will be a number, but before that number, it will be a letter. And these are some of the letters that may be there. So if it's G, it will stand for general. So the first page would be page 1. Then it might be page 1 1.1, then 1.2, 1.3, to make things extremely clear for finding information. So each page may have some detailed information on it. For example, when it comes to electrician, the page may be letter E for electrician, plumbers, P for mechanical systems like the HVAC, heating, air conditioning, ventilation systems, exhaust systems, and things like that would be part of the mechanicals. If there's circulating pumps in the building to move water and things, it would be part of the mechanical. It would have their own prints, and it would be broken down based on the skill level and the trade. Here are some of the other ones, like A for architectural. Usually the architectural will be the very first set of pages, and it will what the architect's looking for, the carpenters and other things for that print. Again, like we talked about E, like for electricians. But these all the different types. It will not have every one of these because it all depends on the building. So, and what's part of it. A building may not have telecommunication, and because of that, it won't have a section T. And they may use R or some of these letters for different things too, because I have seen it before in commercial restaurants when they would use R for refrigeration or a K for kitchen. Here are some additional, remember I said that it used to be a letter, and after the letter would be a number, and many times they will break it down into these numbers, what you see here. I would say every print, but many times we have a title sheet. The title sheet will be the main page that gives you a lot of information about the project. Part of that title sheet would be what they call a title block. On the um, right side of this print, you can see that rectangular shape would be all the information about the engineers, the architects, the construction company, and other important information. Matter of fact, would be spots there to sign off on it, either from inspectors or from the architect, or the stamp will go on it to let the building department know that this print has been certified by either engineers or architects or both. Again, the type of prints you would find, site plans, floor plans, and here what you see on this print here, but they all different. Um, and I'm going to explain each one of these as we go through. A site plan is a plan that if you was in a helicopter looking down on top of the building, you can see everything, the streets, the parking lot, the elevation. When I say elevation, they call it the grade. In other words, how high the ground is in different levels. If there's a hill or there's a valley or there's something that is, you can tell that the ground is not even. It will be drawn on a print and they will show the different elevations. But a site plan is usually probably the second page you see, so you can get a general idea about the building and finding out how this building, and matter of fact, how it's placed on that land, but also its orientation. Orientation will determine if it's facing north, south, east, or west. So that would give you a lot of information about the building. It will show you the streets, even the names of the street, maybe the property line. You could tell how wide or deep the property is from the site plan. The architectural floor plan is, matter of fact, these will be multiple pages because it normally will show the different rooms and it may be some expanded drawings that you can look at. So when you look at an architectural plan, many times I call it the plan view, the plan view. So you see the word plan view, they are talking about this, the architectural floor plan. This will be a floor plan. And here's what's unique about the floor plan. It is like cutting off the ceiling off of the roof. And you basically cutting everything off to about 4 feet from the floor. So again, you're not going to see the ceiling, but you will see everything else. You will see a cutaway of the windows and the doors. You will be able to see everything in the room. However, you will see a plan view, like for electricians, they will show maybe a little bit higher because they will show where the switches are at and maybe even where the light fixtures will be located. And so it's still cutting off the roof, but looking into the rooms. And that's the most important thing to remember. A floor plan or a plan view is looking into the room, seeing the things that's located in the room, such as doors, windows, light fixtures. And if there's special plans like mechanical plans or a plumbing plan, you will be able to see the plumbing, the fixtures in the like the sink or the shower or the bathtub. And those would be in the toilet would be shown in that type of plan. A structural floor plan, again, difference between the structural and architectural. The architectural is showing what the room looks like, but the structural floor plan really show you where the joists will be located and the beams that's part of that floor plan, how it is supported. And they make all different types of floor plans. That's why they call it a plan view, because they can be one for the foundation. The foundation can have its own um, uh, floor plan, where you can see where how the walls are constructed. Matter of fact, even the footings that's supporting the masonry walls, what's supporting that. And so a floor plan will give you that information. So if it's a multiple story building, it would have a floor plan for each floor, where you'll be able to look at each one of they will be on their own page where you can get the details from that. An elevation plan is very simple. Elevation plan is if you are standing outside of the building at ground level and looking at the building. That is the elevation. It will show you the north or the south or the east or west side of the building, or they may say the left side or the right side or the front or the back would be the elevation plans. So the elevation plans is used to give details to the outside of it. You can see the materials, what it's constructed of. So the architect will spend a lot of times, if it's bricks, to have the brick shown. If it's siding, it will show that. If there's other type materials like stone or other type things, it will be shown on that. If there's a roof, it would also be on that plan. So in other words, if it's like a hip roof or a gable roof or a gambrel roof, it will be shown part of that as if you were standing outside at ground level looking at it. A section plan is a section of the building. It's a cutaway. So you'll be able to see, in other words, they will use a special process to draw on a plan saying that I'm going to show you a more detailed drawing of a section of the building where you can get more details. So again, a section is cutting away, and they can take that section and even cut it down even more, which we call detail plans. Detail plans is a very small portion to give us more details of how the architect or the engineer want you to see how it is constructed, how it's put together, just knowing how it is located at a certain point. It doesn't give you everything around it, but what is particular and pertinent to that section. So in other words, it will tell you how it's connected to a roof, or how it's connected to a beam, or how it's connected to a window. Or, matter of fact, let's say how two walls are joined together. It would be drawn, blown up, so you can actually see how to give precise information of how things are structured together. Schedules are also another part of a drawing. The schedules is no more exactly what it says. It's a schedule. They make many different type of schedules for prints. And it could be a door schedule, a window schedule, a floor material schedule. It could be even for let's say the materials in the house for the paint. Each room might be different. So especially if it's a commercial building that The boardroom might have special type of finishing on the walls compared to an office. It would tell you the room, the location of the room, the type of windows would have, or the type of paint, or all these different details. So if it's a door schedule, it may even tell you what the hardware would be, the doorknobs, and spell it out. And matter of fact, give you information where to purchase it, or the manufacturer, not where to purchase it, but the manufacturer of it. They do this for a reason. So you won't make a mistake when you're bidding out a job. When they're asking for very specific information or materials, they want exactly that, and that's how you will quote it out. So again, there's many different types of schedules that you find on the print. So each section, so the architectural plans may have door schedules and window schedules, but when it comes to the mechanicals, it may tell you about the schedules for the HVAC unit, the types of HVAC and the size of the HVAC, the voltage requirements for the HVAC, and that would be, again, found on the schedules. Here's another one talking about the room finish schedules, talking about the different type of materials found in all the different rooms. They give you the location of the room and the description of the room. They would give you the type of materials. And basically, when we look at the schedule, a builder, if they bidding out of job, they would go straight to the schedules to find out about the materials, and then they will maybe send the information to their vendors, and the vendors can cost it out for them. But then they go to the prints too to get more information how things are put together. Additional drawing plans, they have structural framing plans, plumbing, mechanicals, electrical. We kind of talk about most of those already, but in the careers, looking at in the construction industry, there's many type of jobs. However, you may start out as a apprentice, but as you progress and develop new skills and techniques and things, you may move into leadership, which is something that many might aspire to. However, it would take additional education. There's degrees up in construction management where it can help you to get into those positions. In this section, we are looking at the Uniform Drawing System, the UDS. And basically, it's also go with the lettering we talked about that goes through the different sections, the different trades on the construction drawings. But now this is really bringing it down into a more precise areas of each section. So as we see this, we can see that um, it consists of 8 modules containing standard formats. For example, module 1 is drawing set organization. Module 2 is sheet organization, then the schedules and drafting conventions. And of course, there's many more that we can look at. And so this is basically looking at this. So it goes through 8 separate modules, looking how these prints will be and guidelines, how they would be formed. So these are the others for terms, abbreviations, symbols, notations, and code convenience. So prints are basically any sheet that have drawings on it, and we call it prints. And so these days, it is computer generated, and what we call CAD, which stands for computer aided design and drafting. Now, these things will make full-size prints, so they have a large printer, or sometimes they call it plotters, that will draw out full sheets very quickly compared to the way they used to do it years ago. Now, these prints are also called working drawings or plans. So when you hear guys saying working drawings, they're talking about exactly the same things as prints or plans. Often,
is they exchange electronically between design teams, um, and how they would do that, because it's done by um, computer aid drafting. They can save the drawing on a flash drive or a hard drive. And so in that way that you can easily transfer these prints, and you can print it out later, and you can store it that way too. So again, you have an extra copy. If one got destroyed or messed up, you could print out another one pretty quickly. And so many times when they're drawing up the drawings, this is somewhat what they will look like. They have different screens where they can break down into smaller portions of it, put schedules together, type in all the information, and the CAD prints will be able to um, uh, view the different portions of the diagram very quickly, without using any paper. So again, when it says electronically done, it is absolutely electronically done. Some tidbits of information talking about green building, and because um, talking about green, we don't have to waste paper compared to years ago when everything could be electronic. So you can actually receive a flash drive with a print on it and bring it up in your computer. And you can look at it without printing out the paper. Many times with these, if you have the software, you can make changes and things like that also on that print when it's electronically done. So reading prints involves gathering information from the set of drawings that you have. And again, it could be on a sheet, it could be um, electronically done, and it could be printed out, it could be saved. But the prints is basically a communication. In other words, it's a language that construction workers will use, architects and builders and engineers will use. It's just interpreting information that is drawn on the sheet of paper. So they use symbols, they use dimensions and notes and all these things. So you understand the language of construction. So that's the beauty of it. Instead of having building something and showing you this is what it should look like, we can put it on paper and test it before it even built. Now, here are some guidelines for handling prints. Um, the reason it is, um, I consider prints to be like a legal document once it's signed off on. And it's how that building will be built or was built. And if there any information need to follow up or make changes throughout the building process, it will be signed off on it again. And so a person can destroy a building and really cause a lot of harm if it's not done correctly. So that's why there's so many professionals on the job that's working together that know how to construct a building correctly, to keep people safe. Not only just the beauty of the building, but a safely built building. So here's the things that you never write on prints unless authorized to make changes. The reason is that somebody may see something that you're thinking about and may think that's how it should be, and they may change something, may not be correct. Keep prints clean. They usually store prints in a separate place. On the job site, they will have usually a print table that's set aside from all the dust and things. A lot of times, if you've got a construction trailer, it would be inside of that construction trailer where the superintendents or the general contractor will be using it there. If somebody need to find something on a print, they will come into the trailer. It could be on the job site, but usually out of the way from a lot of dust and things, or they would cover it up. Um, so do not eat or drink near the prints. Always fold or roll prints carefully. Do not lay sharp objects on the print. Keep prints out of direct sunlight. Store in a clean, dry place. That was the very first thing I mentioned, but it's the most important things, that to keep it clean and dry, not writing on it, putting things that not supposed to unless you got authorization to make a change. Alrighty, we got some questions, and you can go through this in your textbook after you read, and you're going to have a little quiz on it in this section.